is Woody, this is my spot.
The toys are back in town.
Woody saves the day!
Busting out of here.
On three. 1, 3. Whoa!
It's gotta be a better
this
bit.
motherfucker.
You couldn't have like played dead.
Hi, welcome to Bomb Squad Matinee. I'm your host and master of ceremony, Tanner Richard Kraft, and with me I have...
I'm Cody Sweezo, and found this piece of shit in my boot.
Is that a dildo?
That. It's gone now.
Hi, I'm Orion.
Hi, I'm Tim M. Sullivan. Howdy, howdy, howdy. And a very special guest joining us once again is the movie EFUS. Yes, once again, the movie EFUS is joining us on this pod. I'm just kidding. Introduce yourself, buddy.
Hey, it's me, Joe Vrenick. No. My name is...
Yeah,
you,
boo,
please.
Joe Vrenick. What an asshole.
Yeah,
You should have
Who is
done,
that?
I'm Joe Vrenick. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
I could have, but I didn't. But no, my name's Orion. Back for round 2. Couldn't get enough. We're here talking about toys. I'm very excited.
And if you couldn't tell,
Yeah.
you couldn't tell, which how could you, as I've not alluded to it at all, we're talking about Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2, and by God, we're also talking about Toy Story 4. That's right, we're skipping 3. Everyone read the schedule.
It is a trilogy.
It is a trilogy of sorts, if you think about it. No, I'm kidding. We're talking about Toy Story 1, Toy Story 4, and Lightyear. Woo!
Oh,
I don't
God.
believe in the call.
I'm gonna be
We're talking
poorly
about Toy
prepared
Story
for this
1, 2, and
episode.
3. And in a first for Bomb Squad Podcast, Matinee, Movie Night, yada, 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 and a first for our show, we are doing a triple feature.
You are a toy! You weren't the real Buzz Lightyear, you're an action figure! You are a child's plaything!
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity.
And in another Bomb Squad first. That's right. We're going straight into our thoughts on the movies. It's the first person to talk in the round robin format. We're gonna go with the guest, Orion. What are your thoughts on the Toy Story trilogy?
Okay, so I recently rewatched these movies as an adult, and by recently I mean this morning and into this afternoon, back to back, no breaks.
That's how you do
it. Yeah, that's how you do it. And the movies were pretty much exactly how I remembered them. You know, they're incredibly like interesting and engaging stories, and I mean, we know this already, but I think what really resonated with me as an adult is this theme of the fear of abandonment throughout all the movies. We obviously have our first movie with Woody. You know, that's just like the foundational like problem with, you know, Buzz being added to the collection of Andy's toys and Woody being like, well, I'm not his favorite. Second movie, we have Jessie as the kind of basically taking Woody's place in that sort of like fear of abandonment theme. And then in the third one, of course, we have Lotso, who is like kind of, I don't know, that like sort of fear and that sort of negative energy kind of carries itself throughout all the movies, and it's beaten every single time. And I think the part that resonated with me the most, I mean, I think each one improved upon itself. Each movie improved upon itself in a lot of different ways. Not only visually with like the animation quality going up, especially between Toy Story 2 and 3, because there were like 11 years, I believe, in between each of those.
Yeah.
So there's that. But also with like the depth of all the characters, especially for like a kids movie, I think it's really important to have really three-dimensional and, you know, quality characters, so it can be enjoyed for all ages. And there were some jokes that I obviously missed when I was a kid. I didn't write any of them down, but they're in there. I think the scene that was probably the most emotionally impactful for me was not necessarily the very end of Toy Story 3 with Bonnie and Andy, but it was with when they're like slowly moving toward their their impending doom while
when they're
in the
about to
crash thing.
fucking die.
Yes. And, you know, we've seen them get out of situations that the audience thinks is like impossible, but obviously something has to happen because, you know, like I said, it's a kids movie. And so just like that moment where they all kind of just accept the fact that they're gonna die and they like hold each other's hands, I think that's just a really powerful scene, especially like I said, for an audience that's supposed to be like pretty young. Yeah, I don't know. They're just really good movies. Obviously very fun. I will say I appreciate the improvement of their dogs. The one in the first movie looks ugly as hell. And then the second movie, I'm
He's
like,
awesome.
oh, look, a cute dog. Awesome. And yeah. Yeah, I don't think there needed to be any more movies after that. I think that's just like a perfectly rounded off. We didn't need a 4. I didn't watch 4. I don't really plan on it.
It's good.
Yeah. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's great.
You'll need to watch it to understand Toy Story 5.
Oh man. Good thing we're talking about 1, 2, and 3.
I'm dragging you to Toy Story 5 when it comes out.
I'm gonna
Sorry for your loss.
put my feet into blocks of cement that I'm then gonna bolt to the ground.
That ain't
so you
gonna
don't
stop me.
take
Now that you've told me that's your plan, I'm gonna start working out.
Okay, bro. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. Can I just say Mr. Potato Head
No,
kind of sucks?
you can't say. Yes! Yes! Yes, he fucking does. Okay. Let's get it out of the way. Right
Oh,
now. I'm
God.
sorry, Orion. You sent me the fuck off. Mr. Potato Head is a piece of fucking shit, and I fucking hate him. I fucking hate him so goddamn much. Every damn time. Every time Woody says something, Mr. Potato Head's like, well, I don't really believe you. Fuck you.
Like he hasn't been
Fuck
proved
you.
wrong a million
Fuck
times.
you Mr. Potato bitchy head looking ass. Fuck you. Fuck you. He made me so angry every time. He's like, oh, yeah, Jesse's right. She was wrong. Kill yourself, potato bitch.
We all knew Operation Playtime was a long shot.
More like a misfire.
Go fuck yourselves.
See, Tanner's
Like-
just upset at Mr. Potato Head because he has one in real life, and that Mr. Potato Head is myself.
Do you come
What?
apart?
What?
Can I
What?
see your
Sorry.
face
What the
off?
fuck? How are you Mr. Potato Head?
Because I'm an asshole to you like he is to Woody.
Oh, I thought you were saying you're like the toy.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
not-
saying, like, can I
Well,
read
he
your
is a
heart?
toy. You're not wrong.
Mr. Potato Head doubts Woody every single movie as though he hasn't been proven wrong like multiple times. Like Woody's like, no, like he really was gonna put you guys in the attic, but then you got put at the curb by his mom, and he's like, oh no, and I'm like, dude,
No, Buzz
like,
really did fall down by accident. I'm trying to help. Buzz is with me here.
yeah, I like.
He did
it's
something
just-
in the
it's
second movie that pissed me off too. I just don't remember what.
I guess that is the one thing I
Don't
don't
tell me
like.
you
It's
think
just
about
like, conflict that like, specifically
Mrs.
with
Potato
Mr.
Head
Potato
deserves better.
I just think it comes out of nowhere. The conflict comes out of nowhere sometimes. I think they generally, throughout the 3 movies, do a good job of like having it be a pretty natural story. But just like, he's just especially in the 3rd movie when like they all are like, no, Andy, like what I was just saying with that situation about them being put at the curb in the 3rd movie, and like nobody believes Woody. He's the only one that saw what was happening.
Why
That
would
annoyed me
Woody
a little
lie
bit.
about that, Mr. Potato Head? Why would he lie about that?
I mean, Jesse was also on his ass. Let's not just for Mr.
Nah,
Potato Head.
I believe women.
Jesse is a more 3-dimensional character than Mr. Potato Head. I'll say that.
They're all 3-dimensional, Orion. That's the way the movie was animated. Who does it like that? You're so weird. Who flips people off fingers forward? You're so weird.
It's
That
just
just blew
funny.
my mind.
It's funny. It's just
disturbing.
funny.
It's sick, and I don't like it.
Are you talking about the movie?
He stinks, and I don't like him, Mr. Potato Head. I'm ready to go on a J. Jonah Jameson crusade against Mr. Potato Head.
No. Do not need that.
I'm ready to do a crusade in the Middle East against Mr. Potato Head.
Oh, no.
He doesn't want to be
Ryan,
famous.
I keep interrupting
I'll
you.
make him infamous.
I will say the scene that I was looking forward to seeing again the most was in the second movie with the toy repairman coming in and like the shining of the shoes and the restitching. And the I don't know, it was a very satisfying scene to me growing up, and was still equally as satisfying. Yeah, just I hate to be so vague, but it's so cinematic. Very wow. It's such cinema. Truly. Yeah,
Except
that's all I
Mr.
got.
Potato Head, who's a bitch ass motherfucker.
He
He pissed on my fucking wife. That's right. He took his potato
No,
head
Tanner, we
fucking
don't have
dick
time for this bit.
We don't.
I was gonna say, I feel like I've been talking a lot. Someone else say something.
We got time.
Oh.
All right, new warm-up question. Why does Mr. Potato Head suck? Tim, go.
No.
I hate his voice. Oh, that's not me.
Cody, go.
Shut up.
Joe, go.
Go fuck yourself.
I asked for support in my hour of need, and this is what I get. I can delete
After
the
all
channel,
we've
you
been
know.
through.
After all,
Okay.
What you gonna do? Rebuild? With what branding?
I'll simply relax and enjoy my life.
My life gets a lot better than actually.
What are we gonna do, Buzz?
Use your head.
But I don't want to use my head!
Well, in all seriousness, Tim, what do you think of the Toy Story movies? Or trilogy, rather.
Yeah. So, I would say probably, honestly, all of us, and really anybody born after, like, 1985 or so, is a pretty good audience for the Toy Story movies. They came out when we were at the right age for them. I think, me specifically, I am probably the most right age for this trilogy, being the one person on this call who was born when the first one came out. Joe was born 20 days into the theatrical run of Toy Story 1, interestingly enough.
You are correct.
But yeah, I was 2 when the first Toy Story came out. I was 6 when Toy Story 2 came out, and I was 17 when 3 came out, which was the same age Andy was in that movie. So I definitely went on a sort of personal journey with these 3 films, and hold them very close. And I'll get more into my, personal connections with these movies later on, but first, I just kind of want to remark on each of these movies and what makes them shine. So, like I said, I was 2 when the first movie came out. I think this might have been, if not the first, one of the first movies I ever saw in a movie theater. And, like, I think I was aware that this was, like, different from the other animated movies that I had seen up to that point, but I don't think 2-year-old Tim's brain like fully grasped like how revolutionary this movie was. And like Disney claims a lot of firsts erroneously. Like Steamboat Willie is not the first animated short film. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is not the first animated feature film. Toy Story, as far as I can tell, is the first feature-length, fully CGI animated film. And Disney did distribute that. And it's definitely a technical marvel. You can look at certain aspects of the animation and think, oh, that hasn't aged well. But just the fact that they were able to make this when they made it is really remarkable. And it is kind of fun to watch, sort of how they work with these limitations, like certain things they wouldn't show, they would just kind of imply, like when he's exploding the combat Carl, you don't actually see the explosion, you just kind of see the shake and some debris, but it's still a powerful enough scene just because of how it's blocked and framed and everything. And another thing that I read up on was the hair. The hair was a big thing that was complicated in animating. So basically all the characters who you see, which by the way, there aren't a lot in this first movie. You don't see a lot of faces, but all the faces you do see have very short hair. And like the one shot towards the end where you see the mom's face, her hair's just like up in a ponytail, and she's just sitting down, so there's not a lot of movement happening there. It's very interesting to see how they played with sort of their limitations at that time. And I think another thing that I appreciate more as an adult is sort of how they play with visual humor with the animation. Like I'm gonna make Tanner real mad when I say this, but I do think Mr. Potato Head is a vehicle for a lot of great visual humor. Specifically, like, like
He does get
I mean,
hurt.
he does get hurt a lot, and like just having a character who his like the pieces of his body can be knocked off or rearranged in any order, like that's just a field day for a lot of visual gags. Like I love him getting knocked to pieces in the truck, and you just see his disembodied mouth go, "Toss him overboard." That's just good visual humor. I just dig that. Yeah, a lot of really fun just visual gags in that first movie, and then 2 is, you know, they've made 2 movies at Pixar now, so they're coming in a little bit stronger. They are like, okay, this is still brand new technology, but like we kind of know how to use it now. So they flex a little bit. The big one is, you know, that opening scene where you're in the Buzz Lightyear video game, and it's just this crazy cinematic thing. But then we have some little things too, like when Woody gets shelved and he sees Wheezy, and you just see all these dust particles flying up in the air. It's like, oh, we can do that now. Like that was innovative, and you don't even really realize how like crazy that is for 1999. And then Orion mentioned this, the scene with Jerry fixing Woody up, you know, polishing him and painting him. We got all the like fancy cleaning stuff, which every time I see him like cleaning Woody's eye with the little Q-tip, I'm just like, this is what color grading feels like. It's
100%.
it is
100%
very very satisfying to watch Jerry at work. I love that bit. And then 3, I like, obviously it is a big leap in what they're able to do technically, but I find myself less impressed by it just because like it's 2010, animation's come a long way. Like it looks very good, but I'm less like, holy shit, they were able to do this with very limited resources, you know. But it is a very good looking movie, and it is a very charming movie, and I guess that kind of leads to sort of my relationship with this trilogy as a whole, which is, I feel like each of these movies kind of represents a different moment in Andy's life, and I kind of reflect with each of these moments. Like Toy Story 1 just sort of feels like it's the beginning, and we're seeing these characters for the first time. This is never actually said in the movie, but based on context clues, it's kind of implied that Andy's parents just went through a divorce, and mom has custody of the kids, and they're getting ready to do this big move. So, like, sort of a new beginnings thing, but it's also, you know, just he's very young and very innocent in this first movie, and then in Toy Story 2, he's a little bit older, I'm a little bit older, and it sort of feels like the peak of like the halcyon days of youth, where you know, you kind of realize eventually it's playtime's gonna have to come to an end, but you're just gonna enjoy it while it lasts, and everybody's just having a good time. And then 3 is, he's going off to college. Playtime has ended, but he's also sharing what made his childhood special with a new generation. And, like, seeing that when I was 17 was very moving, because, I was getting ready to go to college. Childhood was essentially ending at that point. I was getting ready to make a big change in my life. And, it shows that, these big changes can be scary, but they might lead to something good. And watching the third one this time hit a little different too, because now I'm 32 years old and I'm going through other big changes in my life. Like, I just put in my 2 weeks notice at a job I've been working at for 2 years and was a very important job to me. And literally right after I finished watching the movie, I got on the phone to do my exit interview at that job. So it was sort of another just me having to, close the book on a chapter of my life and open up the next chapter. And I have even more big changes on the horizon. I'm getting married in less than 3 months, and we're probably going to start doing house hunting next year. And all that is exciting, but also kind of horrifying. But ultimately, I have to know that, things are going to be different, but that's okay. And that's what these movies show. So yeah, Toy Stories 1 through 3, good pictures. Back to you, Tan.
I agree.
Buzz, hey, Buzz, are you okay?
Gone! It's all gone. All of it's gone. Bye-bye. Woo, see ya.
What happened to you?
One minute you're defending the whole galaxy, and suddenly you find yourself sucking down Darjeeling with Marie Antoinette and her little sister.
Joe, what are your thoughts on 2 movies you love and 1 you don't? Which
All
one
right.
is which? He'll tell you.
Yeah, I will tell you. All right, so I was fucking terrified to revisit these movies, in particular the first movie, because the last time I rewatched the first Toy Story movie, I kind of went through a bit of an emotional crisis. In that when I rewatched it, I was just like, good God, where's the minute gone by? I'm old. Like, that kind of emotional crisis. Because I guess for context sake, this was my favorite fucking movie when I was a kid. Either one of my parents, don't ask the one that's a piece of shit, but ask my mother, or hell, even ask my grandmother. They can confirm this. Like, it was my favorite movie, watched it all the time. I even had the fucking toys from the movie. I had my own Buzz Lightyear, I had my own Woody. I fucking loved these movies. And as I've gotten older, it's just, I don't know. It's like reflecting upon childhood for me. And now that I'm almost fucking 30 years old, I was especially scared to revisit it. Because if I'm, in my, almost mid-20s, if I'm, 23, 24, and I'm already experiencing an emotional crisis, how the fuck am I gonna handle watching this again at almost 30? Thankfully, pretty well. Unfortunately, there's still moments when I watch this movie where I start to kind of unpack things from my childhood I really don't want to unpack. In particular, when they get to Sid's house, I kind of start to unpack a little bit. But then this fucking really tight screenplay kind of comes in and it's like, no, don't focus on that. Here's a fun gag. Here's a beheaded doll named Marie Antoinette. That's a great fucking bit, especially if you're a history buff. But to bring up the screenplay, partially written by Bomb Squad favorite Joss Whedon.
Wait.
I have a better idea. There we
I have a
go.
better idea. It's also written by the people that wrote the Garfield Bill Murray movie. So shout out to them. Shout out to them.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Joel Cohen, the guy that tricked Bill Murray into being it.
And Alec Sokolow, who was Joel
Yep.
Cohen's writing partner, from what I understand.
But yeah, no, it is a tight fucking screenplay. It's like, and from what I've read, a lot of that is thanks to Joss Whedon. Like, he really not only tightened it, but the whole conceit of Buzz Lightyear is thanks to him. The whole idea of him thinking he is a real space ranger is his idea, and that works wonderful for the story and the themes they're trying to go for. So say what you want about Joss Whedon as a person, but man, oh man, when he could write, he could really fucking write, and this is easily one of his, if not his, best screenplay. It is a perfect story from beginning, middle to end. The animation, yes, it is absolutely fucking dated, but when you consider the time that this was made and the technology that they had, it's still really fucking impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, there's gonna be like effects in it that just don't really hold up. There's gonna be characters in it that look a little wonky. In particular, the dog. That dog looks unfinished.
Scud is best boy.
But you know what? I'll say this about Scud. Sure, he looks unfinished, but that kind of makes him more unnerving. And that dog is supposed to kind of be a little unnerving, because he is an antagonist. So it kind of works in its favor. A happy accident, if you want to call it that. But yeah, from beginning to end, Toy Story 1's perfect. Toy Story 2, however, is maybe my favorite of the Toy Story movies, and it's my second favorite Pixar movie. I think Toy Story 2 is perfect. It's about as tight a screenplay as the first movie, but kind of something to keep in mind. This is coming hot off the heels of, like, A Bug's Life, which did okay critically, did well financially for the most part, but, it could have done better. So, Pixar at this point they were kind of worried that this was beginning to kind of become a fad. And also, their competitors' Ants did not do very well either. I mean, it did fine, but not the numbers either were hoping for. So, they had a lot to prove with Toy Story 2. And also, I mean, that's the other thing too. It's coming hot off the heels of Toy Story. Like, they've really got a lot to prove with themselves. So not only do they up the animation in this, they really fucking flex on just how much they've improved on animation since that first movie. Not only do they really dive deeper into more thematics with the story with this one. I don't know. It's very fucking hard to describe why I think this one's perfect. There's probably a better, more eloquent way to put it. But they upped everything that made the first movie perfect, and they just did it better. And they also introduced fun characters that are new. You love them. Who doesn't love Jesse? Who doesn't love Bullseye? I don't know if anyone really likes Stinky Pete though, but he's kind of fun to hate.
Listen,
that's
I love
just a great.
I love any dirtbag played by Kelsey Grammer.
More than fair.
Listen, how can I not love Stinky Pete? I mean, who doesn't love Harvey Weinstein?
Ooh.
Your boos make me stronger, audience. Harvey Weinstein is a piece of shit who should kill himself. Might be the one person worse than Mr. Potato Head. Harvey Weinstein is definitely worse than Mr. Potato Head.
Might be.
So,
For the record, Harvey Weinstein, kill yourself. You're watching this. Kill yourself.
I think he's got bigger fish to fry than watch his favorite podcast.
He's too
Bomb Squad
fucking fat to
Matinee.
fry any goddamn fish.
What?
Anyway.
What?
What?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
Toy Story 2. Fucking great movie. Fucking perfect movie. I'm moving on to Toy Story 3, which... has not really. Let me clarify this. I fucking
He
loved
hates
it when it came out. No, fuck you. I fucking loved it when it came out. The older I've gotten, the less I've liked it. I still think it's a fine movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna come out full hater. There's like, if you fucking love this movie, I fucking get it. If it's got an emotional connection for you, I absolutely get that too. However, there's things about it that just really do not work for me. I feel like a lot of the conflict is a lot more contrived than in the previous movie. Like, I don't know. Like, the way that conflict happens in Toy Story 3 just does not feel natural to me, and it feels very forced. Orion kind of touched upon this when they were talking about their thoughts on Toy Story 3. That is one of the biggest issues for me. It's like, why the fuck do they just not believe Woody in this?
Yeah,
Like,
that drove me crazy.
They have zero fucking reason not to believe him, and it is like the central point of what causes the conflict, and it just rubs me the wrong way from a screenplay, like a storytelling wise. Like, Jessie, you could kind of get away with a little bit because they establish the PTSD that she has about being put in storage, and also just abandonment. So you could kind of get away with that because she's probably having an episode. Mr. Potato Head, no, fuck that guy. He has no reason not to believe Woody.
We need more people on the hate train.
And neither do the rest of them. I don't know. I think a lot of what I don't necessarily like about Toy Story 3 comes down to the way that this story is told. And it's kind of a shame because the guy that wrote the screenplay is Michael Arndt. And I love Michael Arndt. He wrote what I would consider maybe the perfect screenplay. He wrote Little Miss Sunshine, which is perfect screenplay. If you've never read it, or if you've never even seen Little Miss Sunshine, fucking watch it. Great movie. Read the screenplay too. And he's written a lot of good screenplays. And I don't know. I think when he wrote this, he missed a step. But then again, I'm looking at his IMDb. He wrote the 2 best Hunger Games movies, but he's also got, let's see, he's got 2 screenplays where he goes by a completely different name. And then, famously, he wrote a draft of The Force Awakens before somebody else took it over. I think it was J.J. Abrams. I don't know. I think the screenplay is the biggest issue with Toy Story 3 for me. And I don't know. I think that does kind of hurt just the emotional ending for me. I think part of it, too, is just I've already had that stage in my life. I've grown up. I've moved on. I don't know. And I feel bad for saying that I laughed during Orion's big emotional moment. Because, here's the reason why
I just want to get out of the way right
now.
Please. This is one of the most insane reasons to find something funny I've heard of in my life.
I want to hear it.
I'm very curious. I'm very curious.
Well, here's the reason. It's like, one, I've seen it. I know how it happened. Like, I know, like, what happens. So I'm just like, okay, when's it gonna go? When's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? It's going on way too damn long. And it's honestly just kind of fucking funny just how long they drag that scene out. In a G-rated movie where it's like all these toys that you've like grown to love over 2 movies, they've just they fucking embrace death. Like they're just looking down the barrel of the gun. This is their final fucking moments. And this was in a G-rated slapper.
Joe the type of guy to go to fucking hospice and go
No.
Well, it'd
I
be-
love you, Joe.
well,
love you, Joe.
Listen, well, I'm also like picturing like little fucking kids watching this too, and just how terrified they must be, and that is just very fucking
That's
funny
true.
to me. Because
Scaring the shit
let's
out
be
of
real,
kids
if
is
they
funny.
Things
if
that
they
Joe
pull-
things that Joe finds funny. People dying. Scared children.
I will say, what I
Babies.
believe I was 8 years old when Toy Story 3 came out.
Ugh.
2010. I was a baby.
I just heard
I was
a
gonna say-
visceral response from Tim. I think he felt that in
Yeah.
like the pit of his stomach.
Yeah, y'all are old as hell.
Also, Tanner,
Um,
I'm not. I was
also
nine.
Tanner, you making fun of me about people dying? Like I watch crappy
Oh.
horror movies. Of course, like I'm like prepositioned to laugh at like things like that.
The only time
Fucking
it's funny
asshole.
when people die is 9/11.
Cody,
My God!
Orion, where were you on 9/11? Why didn't you stop it?
Orion wasn't born yet.
I was for sure like not even an embryo.
Might not have even been
Eh.
conceived yet.
No, I was. Not. I
Final-
was 2 months
final
later.
thought.
You should have
before
done
we-
better.
2 months
Final
after
thoughts
9/11, your
before-
parents were like, "Let's go."
No,
Motherfucker.
long
it's
enough.
to cope. It's to cope with the
Final
tragedy.
thoughts before we pass it off.
Joe, go ahead.
Final thoughts. Toy Story 1, thumbs up. Toy Story 2, 2 thumbs up. Toy Story 3, down the middle.
Okay, that's reasonable.
All right.
I'll accept it.
I do just want to say, in regards to Michael Arndt, maybe to defend him or to explain things, with the way Pixar writes their movies, Michael Arndt might be the only one with screenplay credit, but like, there are 7 other writing credits on the movie, 3 story by credits, an additional screenplay material credit, an additional story credit, additional dialogue credit, another additional story credit.
So basically, what you're telling me is the same reason I have an issue with Toy Story 4 is the same reason I have an issue with Toy Story 3.
Yeah, Toy Story 2 has more writers than Toy Story 4, though. So just
You mean
keep
Toy
that
Story
in mind.
3?
No, I said Toy Story 2.
What?
There's a little bit of overlap. I'm sorry, it's equal. It's equal. My bad. I
Pass
counted
it off,
Andrew
Tanner.
Stan and Trice.
The first two have that John Lasseter magic, though.
The third one also has John Lasseter story by credit. Like, John Lasseter was still heavily involved in the third movie. Toy Story 4 is the only one he was not involved in at all.
Yeah.
Even that, I think he was involved in the very early pre-production. Cody, what do you think of Toy Story 1, 2, and 3?
Let go of the plane!
What, are you crazy?
Just pretend it's the final episode of Woody's Roundup!
But it was canceled! We never saw if you made it!
Well, then let's find out together!
Oh boy, what do I think of Toy Story, the trilogy over here? It's gonna be, man. If you don't shut the fuck up right now,
I love you, Cody.
This is a very unique situation because unlike every other episode I've done for this podcast, we're reviewing a movie that I haven't watched in like the last 5 or so years. Because I grew up with this movie, obviously. You know, I was a kid in the 2000s. Of course, I saw every Pixar movie. That was just law. So going back to it was kind of like a little intimidating, especially since, you know, this is like Pixar's first movie. A movie that is held up tremendously well, especially in the animation department. I know it doesn't look great in all of like the areas, but you gotta remember, this is like 95. Like, animation, like, at this scale wasn't like perfected yet. Like, smaller scale animation from like shows and games that don't hold up well at all, those came out like years after this movie, and this movie still holds up pretty well.
What are your
Another
thoughts
thing
on
is-
Beast Wars Transformers?
What do you think of
Fucking
reboots?
Awesome! Another thing about this movie that makes it so amazing is that it just captures the childlike whimsy of just like toys coming to life and just doing whatever they do. Because you know, as a kid, you know, when you play with toys and shit, like it just felt real to you. It felt magical to you, and it really captures that spirit of like youthful innocence. Which is really funny because like this whole trilogy is just about like existentialism for toys. And it's really funny, especially when you go back to it, because like in the first movie, Buzz just thinks he's a toy doing toy things, and then later he just figures out he is literally a toy. That's just like, like for his perspective, that's kind of fucked up. But it's also like,
Oh,
there's
I'm
a lot of, like,
sham.
which is great because I think it's said all the time. But like the best like kids movies are the ones that adults can enjoy just as much, and I think this movie still holds up tremendously well, especially since it is so like tightly cut as well. Like I don't know how to explain editing in like animation, but like it's only it's only like an hour 20 minutes, very tight for a feature length film, and every scene kind of goes through pretty quickly. But they cover a lot of ground even in this first movie. They're not just like, you would think this is a movie they just kind of step in the toy room and just watch the insanity ensue, but no, they go to the Pizza Planet, they go to Sid's house with the dog that everyone needs to bring up during their segment. I think it looks fine. It was 1995. Come on. And there's just so much. It's also hard to. It's really hard to just talk about this movie because this is a movie from my childhood, and it's like I can't attack this movie. It's a movie from my childhood. It's a perfect movie. It's also got really good voice casting. Tom Hanks as Woody really sells like the goody, the goody two shoes at first, so that when he does kind of crack, it feels more believable. Tim Allen, when he's not being my favorite former cocaine dealer, is great as Buzz Lightyear. Really sells the whole like I'm a superhero character, and then he, when he cracks, it feels more believable. That's why I like it when they, feel like these artificial toys, and then they just feel more human afterwards. And that definitely gets expanded more in Toy Story 2. Following up this movie was a monumental task in both in animation, which definitely looks a lot better, and just broadening the scope, because they could have just done tiny wacky adventures, but no, they send Woody gets caught gets caught up in Al's business. His little world expands with the forget the name, Woody Roundup. I think that's the name of it. With all their cast of characters, Buzz gets more like world building. Like it's a movie that could have just been very simple and by the numbers, but actually really deepens the characters, really deepens like the world around them. It makes an overall really entertaining movie to watch. They're really good to watch back to back. Honestly, again, Toy Story 2 is also really hard to talk about because I think it's just like a really perfect movie. And honestly, if you're my age watching this podcast, you've probably already seen the fucking movies. Of course you watch Toy Story 1 and 2. Of course you watch Pixar. It's like, what do I need to say that you don't know there? Besides the fact that the movies are still good, and if you haven't seen them in a while, go watch them. And you might feel like Joe and start to feel the existentialism of being older. But hey, at least you'll have a good movie to cry to. And then there's Toy Story 3. Now, what was interesting is when the Toy Story trilogy was brought up for this episode, I started to think about all the memories I had with the trilogy, and then I started to realize I didn't really have any memories with 3. Even though I know I watched it. I know I watched it just as much as the other two, but nothing was coming to mind besides a few select scenes, and I didn't know why. So then I watched it. And then I found out why. But let me just say, the opening scene, fantastic. Probably the best opening scene of any of the movies. Like it's not like humble and whimsical like the other two, but like, gosh, the pure imagination just on display is just so good. It's like, again, it's someone who grew up with a lot of like Legos and toys and all that stuff, just doing their own little like fantasy. Like it captures that feeling so well that like just describing it can't really explain. And then when we get to the daycare portion of the film, I kind of feel like I'm on autopilot for the most part. I don't think anything's bad. I actually agreed with pretty much everything you said in your segment. It felt like what I feared that Toy Story 2 would have been, which is, just kind of by the numbers, let's go on whimsical adventures, it's Toy Story, but it takes place in this location. Toy Story, but it takes place in this location. That's kind of how Toy Story 3 felt. There's definitely a lot of heart, and it's still just as funny as the other two. But I don't feel as personally invested, and I don't feel like the world is expanding even more. If anything, I feel like it's more limited with these characters that are relatively solid, but also kind of more so contained within this movie. Now, of course, I know Toy Story 3 is very well known for its third act, especially, with all the toys holding their hands together, singing Kumbaya as they go to the fucking incinerator. it never really, I don't know. I was never really moved by that scene back then and now. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely like to think like, wow, they really threw this gut punch at you, is definitely like commendable, especially for like a G-rated movie. But I think now, and especially now that this is like a third movie out of 5, God knows how many more movies they're gonna do, I think it's less impactful. So you might be able to say just fuck Toy Story 4 for that, but I just think it's, you know, on its own, I don't think it's as impactful as people say. I think it's honestly a very overrated scene, but that's just my opinion. Now, the actual ending scene where Andy gives his toys to the girl I forgot the name of,
Bonnie.
and basically
Bonnie.
has the farewell, Bonnie, and has the farewell, and when Woody hits you with the so long partner, now that's a fucking ending.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
That was the
ending.
one that made me cry.
Like,
Yeah.
I think for me, Toy Story 3 is kind of like, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think it's like the Return of the Jedi, where I don't think it's, you know, it's not as great as the other two, but it's still great on its own. And hey, I used to say Return of the Jedi was my favorite. Hold on now. I'm not saying Return of the Jedi
Used
is
to,
great.
you
We'll
still
get-
should kill your. I'm kidding.
Hold on now.
No.
I'm just saying, I think Toy Story 3 serves a great purpose as the end of a trilogy. I just think Toy Story 3 had way too much pressure on it, following up not just Toy Story 1 and 2. You guys forget that, like, the 2000s were Pixar at their finest. I mean, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, Credibles, Cars, Ratatouille, WALL-E, Up. How the fuck do you follow that up? That's like 7 movies ranging from good to literal masterpieces in the Criterion Collection.
Then
You can't
overrated
beat
like
that.
Up.
It may be overrated like Up, but who cares? That's really hard to follow up. And honestly, I think Toy Story 3 is a great benchmark at the end of like the big era of Pixar. They still make movies, and there's a lot of movies that they make are still really good, but they definitely aren't as consistent as they used to be. And that just might be the bias of me talking, and I'm kind of just rambling on as per usual. So I'll just end it up with, this is a very good trilogy of movies.
Fine, fucking talk.
Have y'all talked about the movie Up on a podcast?
No.
No.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight you on it being overrated. That's all I wanted to say.
Stay tuned.
Great first 10 minutes, followed by a decent above average movie, and those first 10 minutes has convinced everyone it's better than it is.
Stay tuned. We'll cover the movie in.
I'm of course talking about Toy Story 6.
Jesus Christ.
I'm from the future. They have AI Tom Hanks in the leading role,
No.
So that's
geez,
why he
okay.
sounds weird.
but
You think
Tim
they
Allen
pro-
is 120. He's still alive, and he's still voicing a Buzz.
When does this movie come out?
Don't worry about it.
Speaking of Tim Allen, we should watch
After the nuclear war.
Santa Claus movies.
Speaking of Tim
Anything
Allen,
else you'd like to contribute, Orion?
No. No.
You should feel bad. Cry like you did in Toy Story 3.
Ugh. Well,
My time to shine. Hello.
Now, we need toys in our Caterpillar room, and you need to avoid that truck. Why don't you come on back, join our family again?
This isn't a family, it's a prison. You're a liar and a bully, and I'd rather rot in this dumpster than join any family of yours.
Jesse's right. Authority should derive from the consent of the governed, not from the threat of force.
So I rewatched Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 a couple days ago. I got to rewatch Toy Story 1, my TV surround sound system, big 50-inch 4K television set here. And then I got to watch the first 3 minutes of Toy Story 2 that way before my internet went out for 8 hours. And I had to watch the rest of Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3 on my phone. How is that an L? How's that my fault? How's that my fault, Orion? Fuck you. Fuck
David
you.
David
Love
Lynch's
this entirely visual gag, by the way.
David Lynch's
Yeah,
rule
gotta
in
watch
his
the YouTube
grave
video.
that you had to watch those movies on your fucking phone.
I didn't want it this
Get-
way. I didn't
get
want it this
real.
way. I mean, I think watching a movie, I think rewatching, keyword rewatch, a movie you've seen before on your phone is okay. If the circumstances require it. Obviously, other ways are better. But I didn't have other ways. Yeah, all of these movies are fucking perfect. Let's get some overall thoughts about all three movies out of the way. Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, perfect in the lead roles. They have amazing chemistry. A lot of that has to do with the fact that they insisted on recording their lines together, which is still very uncommon for animated movies, recording their lines together. Most animated movies, their lines are recorded elsewhere, but the fact that they record all their lines together, it helps with their amazing chemistry, and it shows. It makes you... When I was a kid, I thought Tim Allen and Tom Hanks were like the same caliber of actor because of these movies.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know like what Tom Hanks was doing outside of this role. Like I knew Tim Allen in The Santa Claus, but I wasn't like I wasn't turned on to like fucking Saving Private Ryan at that point in my life.
You didn't watch Philadelphia at the age of 7?
I sure didn't.
You didn't watch Home Improvement?
I didn't have cable. They weren't like...
You were missing out.
Home Improvement was over the air.
I didn't watch it when it aired. I watched reruns on TBS later in life.
That's fine. I watched reruns on Nick at Night, along with the greatest television show ever made, Full House. Full House better than Up. Chew on that, Orion.
I have to watch Full House now.
Challenge accepted. Yeah, as a kid, I thought these were the same caliber of actor. Now, as an adult, I think we all know and realize that clearly of the two, Tim Allen outclasses Tom Hanks in every conceivable way. Especially as a person. I think Tim Allen has better politics as well.
Yeah, something I really commend Tim Allen on is like the quality of his person.
I just, how can you not love a man who looks identical to Joel Osteen, honestly?
For real.
And I also, I mean, especially with Tim Allen's and, his politics and this exact quote from Tim Allen.
Oh, no.
Capitalism as practiced today seems to have, as a byproduct, a subtle kind of non-morality and seems to be encouraging class division. I continue to kick around alternative ideas to capitalism. The goal is to find a way to minimize the gap between the classes that encourage talent and hard work. From the world of professional sports, consider the salary cap. I think we should implement the salary cap in the normal way and create a maximum wage as opposed to a minimum wage. This is an actual thing Tim Allen wrote on his website in 2006. I didn't know if I'd ever have another chance to tell you guys that Tim Allen was briefly like a right-wing anti-capitalist kind of thing. I don't know. He had interesting ideas.
Oh, really? I'm for
like selling drugs.
Anyway. But of course the rest of the cast is brilliant. I know I was hating on Mr. Potato Head a lot earlier because he is a subhuman piece of shit. But Don Rickles,
he isn't human.
Great. Exactly, subhuman. You heard me.
Okay.
He's potato.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Were the first Mr. Potato Head toys like real potatoes?
I'm gonna just assume no. I'm not even gonna look it up.
Tanner, what the shit are you talking about?
What kind of fun is that? What do you mean?
That was the thing, wasn't it?
Don't look it up. You're
No!
What is
it? What's a potato?
Oh my god, he was right. You need to brag about this.
Fuck you! Fuck you! You doubted me! What am I talking about? The movie.
Millennials are eating the
the movie
microplastics and the potatoes.
I'm Zoomer. Anyway, I love these movies. The cast is brilliant. We've all talked about the screenplay. The screenplay, again, in my opinion, of all three of these movies, including Toy Story 3, which is my favorite one, is brilliant in a lot of ways. And I was born in 1998, so the first movie came out 3 years before I was born, and the second movie came out a year after I was born. I might have seen it in a theater. I doubt it though. I wouldn't have even been 2 years old yet. It's possible my parents were inconsiderate and took me to the movie theater at that age, but I'm going to assume they weren't. As far as I know, the first movie I saw in theaters was Lilo and Stitch 2025. No, the original Lilo and Stitch. But I grew up with these movies on VHS along with a bunch of other Disney movies, and the Toy Story movies were definitely the VHS tapes I replayed over and over again the most. I love them. Toy Story 1, I think, is a wonderful story about, you know, learning to deal with your insecurities and accepting new people into your life. I think Toy Story 2 is a wonderful movie about why we can't trust movie executives, especially Harvey Weinstein. That's what that movie's about. No, actually, in my most recent rewatch, the thing about Toy Story 2 about, you know, this isn't like the main theme of the movie, obviously, but something that was really poignant to me was, this isn't the main theme, but I do think it's a theme that a message the movie conveys, which is that toys are meant to be played with, goddammit.
Mm-hmm.
True.
I think about there.
Dinner has Funko Pop. Howdy.
Well, I guess I better get started.
How ironic.
Sorry, as soon as those words left my mouth and I was looking at myself on screen, I went, wait a minute. Some of them are bobbleheads.
But you're also like
bobble
27.
one.
Should you be playing with toys? You're
Not those kind of toys.
Oh,
If I
gross.
play with toys right now, who the fuck cares? Do what you want!
Don't act like you were setting that up intentionally.
I swear to God I wasn't. Swear to God I
Bullshit, you're
wasn't.
smarter than that. Anyway, but that was something that stood out to me with Toy Story 2, was like toys are meant to be played with, damn it. And how Al sucks. I do think that was especially a thing in the 90s, especially in response to the Beanie Babies craze. And in general, there was a giant collectibles sort of rush in the 90s. Comic book sales were the best in the 1990s because people just assumed, oh wow, all these 50-year-old comic books are selling for thousands and thousands of dollars. Buy comic books now, not realizing by creating a giant rush for comic books, you are creating more supply, more demand. But by creating more demand, you're creating more supply, which will lessen the value of the books. A similar principle applies, but basically there was a big collectible rush in the 90s. And again, I don't think those are the main themes of the movie. I think the main theme of the movie is that Zurg's my real dad, but that theme really stuck out to me. And obviously I was a kid when I watched those movies over and over again. You know, I loved those movies to bits. I liked playing with my toys. I liked, you know, I'm sure we all maybe did this when we were kids after seeing this movie, maybe when we were in bed, mom and dad aren't in the room anymore. You sort of turn to your toys in your bedroom and go, hey, I swear to God, I won't tell a soul. On God, are you fucking alive, man? Can you walk and talk, please? I swear to God, I won't tell anybody. I was doing that for years as a kid. I was begging the toys to reveal themselves.
For real. It's like, guys, we can be friends.
I still think it's possible. You can't prove it.
Do you think your Funko Pops walk around your living room while you're asleep?
God, no, I hope not. They deserve better than that. Yeah, they would just suicide immediately.
If that's what they want to do.
Tanner, I've got a doll of the nurse from Silent Hill 2 right behind me. I don't want that thing to come to life. I don't want that thing to come to life.
I love the first two Toy Story movies to bits. They are both 5-star movies to me. I like one a little more than two because one is just this super perfect tight screenplay. Joss Whedon, you're a bastard, but fuck, you knew how to write. Toy Story 3, though, that's the movie I really wanted to talk about. Originally, I just wanted to put Toy Story 3 on the schedule. But I knew that I don't think other people on the team felt the same way about 3 that I did. Liked it, but maybe weren't their favorite. Here's the thing with Toy Story 3.
Also important to realize, yes, Toy Story 3 is turning 15, but Toy Story 1 is turning 30. That's also very important.
Toy Story 3.
Damn, that's crazy.
Wow, Toy Story 3 is as old now as Toy Story 1 was when Toy Story 3
came out. Shut up!
You're gonna have to explain that one to me.
Sorry, Joe, what was that? Almost 30 says what? You can do that to him in real life. Just walk up to him and be like, almost 30, and he'll just make that noise.
Don't do that.
I'm 32. You have no power here.
Almost 33 says what?
Yeah.
I'm too young for this joke.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. Tim's like, yeah, that is correct.
I'm gonna do this to you, Tanner, when you almost hit 30, and I'm gonna see how you feel about it.
I'm not going to respond at all because you're telling me now.
I thought you were going to say I'm not going to turn 30. Don't worry.
I'm going to kill myself when I'm 29.
No.
We have an expiration date, folks.
To that I say, thank God. I mean, thank God.
This is a children's movie trilogy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Anyway,
the
before I move on to Toy Story,
there.
before I move on to Toy Story 3, actually, I want to bring up one little thing. See this little guy here?
He is pretty little.
Shit.
This is a Captain America action figure. I've had this toy since I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. Roughly around the age was that Andy was when these movies started. This action figure is like my Woody in a lot of ways. It wasn't my absolute favorite thing as a kid. That would be a stuffed animal that my parents threw out because I think it started to smell. I don't know why. I think they spilled something on it. Not the point. But this was like my favorite toy, not stuffed animal, but toy. I got it from my friend's toy drawer. And as you can see, this is one of the earliest toys I remember owning, and I still own it to this day because I sort of have like a emotional attachment to it. I think the way a lot of us do with our favorite toys as a kid, even if we don't have them anymore, we remember them. And that kind of transitions perfectly to Toy Story 3. When Toy Story 3 came out, I wasn't a little kid anymore. I wasn't a real little kid anymore. I was 12 years old when Toy Story 3 came out. Sorry, Tim.
I was a big boy. I was 12 years old.
I was a big boy. I was gonna turn 13 in half a year. Anyway, I was in middle school when Toy Story 3 came out, and at the time, my 13th birthday was, still half a year away, but it was coming up, and I was scared. I was really scared of turning 13, which is funny because I feel like maybe not nowadays, but I feel like kids are usually excited at the prospect of growing older, but I was terrified of growing older. Being an adult, being older seemed scary. There were responsibilities, even if I didn't really know what that word was. There was, a lot of, being a grown-up just seemed scary, and I was really scared of becoming one. I didn't go to the movie theaters that often, but my mom, who loved the first 2 Toy Story movies, really wanted to see 3 and wanted me to see it with her, so obviously I did. And like I said, being a kid was easy. Being an adult seemed hard. It was scary. And then this movie comes out, and I watch it in the theaters, and it makes me quite emotional, obviously. At points, it's really funny. It's really tight. I love, all the character arcs in this movie. Really, though, what I love about Toy Story 3 is the scene that makes me cry. Obviously, everyone cries at the incinerator scene. I feel like, for better or worse, that's the more famous "this movie made me cry" moment.
Is it?
And in my experience, yes, it is. That's the scene I hear cited infinitely more than the other thing.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Interesting.
Not for me either.
But,
Well, you're wrong. Sorry.
As even sort of as a cry, I hear that.
You are wrong about the people that are talking to me.
Specifically,
you may be
Tanner.
right about the people talking to you, but you're wrong about the people talking to me. Anyway, as I was saying, obviously the incinerator scene when I was a 12-year-old kid made me sad, but I was old enough to recognize, well, they're not going to die. It did go on just long enough that I thought, well, shit, maybe. Except I didn't think that as a 12-year-old. I kind of went, well, I've never seen a movie go higher than 3. That was my logic at the time. And I think just because at the time Spider-Man stopped at 3. So I went, well, that's as high as it goes.
This has to be the end. This is how it ends.
That's prime 12-year-old.
Perfect. No notes.
Which is really funny because I was a massive Star Wars fan at the time. So you think I'd know. You think I know?
Well, they just
that's
did
a three. They did a different three.
Yeah, they did
That's
three
different.
twice.
Yeah, that's fair. They did 3 twice. So at the time, again, I was like, well, Spider-Man didn't go beyond 3, so that's when it stops. You don't get to do more than that, obviously.
Those are the rules.
So I briefly thought they weren't going to die, but then, the aliens come in with the claw and save them. But what really got me, obviously, and we've all talked about this, was the scene at the very end. Andy gets to play with his toys one last time. He sort of gets to become at peace with the child he once was, conflicting about the man he's about to become. He gets to move on, and he gets to make sure, he gets to play with them one last time, and he passes them on to a good home, so to say. And then, Andy looks at them longingly, practically, and then drives away. And then Woody says, "So long, partner." And that is the first time a movie ever made me cry. There are movies older than this one that made me cry as I got older. But Toy Story 3 is definitely the first time I remember a movie making me cry. There might have been movies before that made me cry, and I just doesn't stick out to me in my mind. But Toy Story 3 was the first movie that made me cry. And because of that last scene where Andy, going off to college, is able to give up his toys, give up his childhood, and be at peace, all of a sudden being an adult didn't seem that scary anymore. Toy Story 3 helped me grow up in a big way. And because of that, it is always going to be my favorite of the Toy Story movies. Even if the first 2 are maybe technically better, whatever, I don't care. Toy Story 3 was the movie that made me realize it was okay to grow up. I'm sure we're all going to have more to say about Toy Story after a brief commercial break. See you in a minute.
It's too fast! How could you even tell what's on?
I can tell.
Welcome back from that commercial break for another commercial. See that thing? That's a movie palette. That's the one for Punch Drunk Love. Over Tim's shoulder, you see the one for the movie Mandy. Basically what it does is it takes the primary color of any frame of the movie, chops it up in these little slices, puts it all in a row like that, puts it on a canvas, call it a movie palette. You can get one for Punch Drunk Love like I had, for Mandy like Tim has, for any one of your favorite movies. And if they don't already have it, I'm sure for a little extra money, I'm going to have one custom made. So go ahead, add whatever movie palette you want to your cart. But before you check out, enter the code SQUAD15 to save 15% on your order. Thank you so much for listening. Now back to the show. All right, let's get into this. John Morris. What does this name mean to you fine folks?
Nothing.
Well, it should mean a lot to you. Because let me go ahead and read you off this guy's filmography. In 1993, he stars in The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is all of his movies in chronological order, okay?
Okay.
In 1995, he stars in Toy Story. In 1999, he stars in Toy Story 2. In 2010, he stars in Toy Story 3. In 2019, he stars in Toy Story 4. And by God, if Wikipedia is to be believed, next year he's going to star in Toy Story 5. John Morris is the voice of Andy. I did not know before this most recent rewatch that the same guy plays him in all the movies, even in the brief scene he's in it for. It's the same guy.
Wait, that's actually really cool.
I was curious if it was the same guy. That is cool though.
And it's also like his only notable role. In The Nightmare Before Christmas, he's Santa Boy.
Santa Boy.
Oh, that's my favorite character in that movie.
Here is his television credits. In The Wonderful World of Disney, he voices Andy. In Jason and the Heroes of Mount Olympus, a TV show, I'm gonna be honest with you, never fucking heard of in my life.
But he voices Andy in that.
No, he voices additional voices in that.
My favorite character.
In 2009, Disney Get Connected, he appears as himself. And also, it's Disney Get Connected. It's not Gets, it's Get Connected. He pours in himself.
They're telling you to get connected.
In That Fellow in the Coat, he appears as Andy Davis, aka Andy. because
Name of the other movies.
It's an archive recording. And Greatest Animated Movies here plays himself at Timon and Pumbaa in the movies. I don't know what the fuck that is. As far as I can tell, it's like Mystery Science Theater 3000, but with Timon and Pumbaa. Honestly, not a bad concept. He voices, get this, Andy Davis. And some archival recordings.
No way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go to his video game credits.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
In 1995, he plays, and he's in the game animated storybook Toy Story as Andy Davis. And in 2010, he appears in the video game Toy Story 3 as, get this, Andy Davis. But
Really putting all his eggs in one basket.
I skipped a video game there.
Oh, how dare you.
Because
it's not
in
Toy Story related.
1997, he voices a character in a cult classic PC game
Oh boy.
called Lego Island.
Oh,
And the
boy!
voice of the character he plays is Pepperoni.
Let's go.
Pepperoni has
Yeah.
like 5 or 10 lines in that game. He's much more of a character in the sequels, and he's voiced by someone else. But that means all of his credits are The Nightmare Before Christmas, or playing some type of toy, or I'm sorry, in the 2001 video game Nicktoons. That's Nicktoons spelled the way the cartoons are, and then that's Nick, one word, and then Tunes, Tunes. He plays Otto Rocket. I'm sorry, he plays the singing voice for Otto Rocket.
Oh, he sings too.
Right.
He's multi-talented.
Allegedly, he only did it the once.
Oh, sure. Well,
But guys, he's a kindred spirit. This motherfucker went to film school. Give it up to him. Give it up to him.
I added
He
that
went
too.
to film school, but he was already in movies.
Bold play.
Give it up to him. Give it up to him. So yeah,
Bro.
So I did allude to something before the recording. So apparently Billy Crystal was originally offered the role of Buzz Lightyear, and I don't think he would have been right for that role, but he turned it down, and he said that after he watched the first Toy Story movie, he said that was the biggest regret of his career, was not taking Buzz Lightyear. So then, a few years later, they're working on Monsters, Inc., and John Lasseter calls him because he wants to cast him as Mike Wazowski. So, like, he gets his wife on the phone, and his wife goes, Billy, John Lasseter's calling. He just picks up the phone and says yes.
good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
Good answer. Good answer.
You guys want to talk about some alternate casting?
Oh, boy.
Sure.
Sure.
Because
I
there
don't
was a
really
lot
know.
in development. For example, when Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was still in charge of Disney Films at the time of this movie's development, finally approved the script and casting was allowed to start, the producers wanted 2 actors. They wanted Paul Newman to play Woody, and they wanted Jim Carrey to play Buzz.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
To
They wanted it-
infinity and beyond.
In their mind, Paul Newman represented old Hollywood, while Jim Carrey represented new Hollywood. Paul Newman would later
Thor?
voice a Pixar character in Cars, Doc Hudson.
Yep.
He put
Yeah.
wine in his cup. And
Wasn't that his last role too?
I think so. I think they did kill him as soon as he finished voicing his lines.
Poor bastard.
And,
Oh, he didn't read to the end of the contract.
And Jim Carrey, I don't even think an offer was ever sent out to Jim Carrey. From what I understand, Paul Newman was offered. I don't think it ever made its way to Jim Carrey. John Lasseter, though, the director, always wanted Tom Hanks. And thank God they got him when they did. Because part of the reason why they weren't able to get Newman was because he cost too much. While Hanks was cheap enough. And you may think, Hanks? This came out in 1995. That's him coming off of back-to-back Oscar wins. What do you mean he was cheap? They recorded his dialogue in 1993.
Oh.
So
Okay.
he was still an Oscar nominee for Big. He was still a big name, but he wasn't a guy that won back-to-back Best Acting Oscars big.
Yeah.
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 Other actors that were apparently considered for Woody, Clint Eastwood. I feel like that's just them trying to be cute.
Get it? Because it's a Western guy.
Robin Williams was also offered the part. I think that could have worked because I think Robin Williams is a great actor, and I think he has that range.
That's true. He is
I think the issue with having Robin Williams at that point was I think he had like that big thing that with Disney because of Aladdin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's probably part of it too. Anyway, who wants to hear the giant list of actors that were considered for Buzz?
Oh boy, here we go.
It's got to be better than Jim Carrey.
All right, so on top of Jim Carrey, some of the initial actors offered the role were Bill Murray and Chevy Chase. Both turned it down.
I mean, that kind of makes. I mean,
I'm gonna come back to Chevy Chase in a minute, Joe. Don't you worry. Other actors that were considered for the role include Jason Alexander, Dan Aykroyd, Matthew Broderick, Kevin Costner, Michael J. Fox, Richard Gere, David Hasselhoff, Michael Keaton, Wayne Knight, Bill Paxton, Dennis Quaid, Kurt Russell, Adam Sandler, and John Travolta.
So, like every single male comedy
Jim
actor.
Carrey's is so weird. I mean,
Bill Paxton and Kurt Russell were like the only two like potentially decent picks out of that list.
Wayne Knight would.
Richard Gere.
You mean Richard Gere?
I said it right the first time too. I don't know how I fucked that up.
Wayne Knight did end up playing Al in the second one, and he played Zurg in the cartoon, Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
However, imagine Dennis Quaid Buzz. Just makes me think of that scene in The Substance where Quaid's just fucking going to town on that shrimp, and imagining it's Buzz Lightyear there instead. Anyway, here's when we circle back. Tom Hanks accepted the part of Woody because he admitted when he was a kid, he often imagined that his toys were walking around talking when he wasn't looking. Mm-hmm. He independently thought of the premise of this movie as a kid, so that's why he accepted the part. Tim Allen accepted the part because he heard Chevy Chase turned it down, and Chevy Chase is his idol. Which says a lot about Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that says quite a bit.
There was an open casting call for Andy. John Morris got the part in part because he brought, and I shit you not, 45 X-Men action figures to the audition.
Oh, let's go. That's
I think they saw the bucket and went, all right, now fuck it.
Yeah.
When he was instructed, when the open auditions called for them to bring one toy, he brought 45. And also, it just says he brought multiple toys, specifically 45 X-Men action figures. That does leave the possibility he brought more. Just saying.
Yeah.
And apparently, Pixar reacted to him dumping his toys out with laughter. So you heard it here first, kids. You want to roll? Ignore the audition instructions.
Yeah,
yes.
Go the extra
Works
mile.
every time.
Totally.
So something that I did think was interesting, I noticed a line in Toy Story 2 that stood out to me on this viewing, which is that when Al is trying to get the Woody doll, Andy's mom says this is an old family toy, which to me that implies that like Woody's been in the Davis family for a while, so like Andy's not his first kid probably, which makes it interesting that he doesn't really get super existential except for specifically with Andy. I don't know, just something to think about. It's interesting.
Well, here's also something to think about. I don't know how much of this was intentional by the filmmakers or more just a byproduct of what the technology was when it's developed, but and this is so fucking slash.com comic book movie rant.com bullshit I'm about to bring up, but I do think it's worth pointing out Andy's father doesn't seem to be in the picture at all.
Right. I kind of went into that too. The implication is there was probably a divorce.
Probably, but I also I'm kind of thinking about that right now. How, Toy Story 2 shows that Woody toys were like from the 50s.
Yeah.
Which is confirmed in Toy Story 4. Specifically, it's only implied in Toy Story 2 and 4. It's flat out said the villain says he's a toy from the 50s. And considering the age of the parents in these movies, Just saying, Andy's dad might have been the right age to have that toy when it came out. And there's a bit of IMDb trivia that claims that Andy associates Woody with his father. I don't know where the fuck they're getting that from.
Yeah.
But
bye, Dad.
I don't
Have
know.
fun with Bonnie.
It's kind of interesting, though, I think, still, that maybe, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of stupid fan theories, like Ash was in a coma during Pokemon that, exist. But this is one of those quote-unquote stupid, make child's franchise more mature fan theories that actually, I don't know, doesn't seem that stupid to me.
There's elements, like there's things there. It's not just,
it's a dream because I said so. Fuck you.
He dreamed it while he was
Everything
in
can be
the
a
coma
dream.
with his autism.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like, and again, I think the fact that
super coma.
Andy's dad isn't in the picture is just a byproduct of them not. I don't think you ever see like an adult man's face in Toy Story.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Well, no, Al.
Al.
Al is
In Toy Story 1.
in
Sorry.
Toy Story 1. Yes.
Oh, yeah, correct.
That's what I was meaning. In Toy Story 1, I don't think you ever see an adult man's face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you see
hell,
their
if
bodies.
did you in the I don't know if you guys noticed this in the birthday party in the first Toy Story. You notice how all of Andy's friends are just Andy with different skin
They
tones and
are.
clothes.
And once you notice it, you can't unnotice it.
It's all the same character model, except they're like, this one's black.
There's Andy, there's Brandy, Bandy.
Dandy.
A little
didn't
bit of Andy
notice.
in my life.
I didn't notice until you said something, but like you're 100%.
Look
right.
up that
That's
scene.
crazy.
It's all Andy, especially the one with the kid that like turns the box around to reveal it's gigantic.
Yeah.
That one especially is just, that's Andy.
Yeah, they're all the same height. They're all, yeah.
They have the same face model.
Yeah.
They didn't have the budget to design more models.
Yeah.
Who knows if the
They didn't
system
know
could have
they
handled
could.
more models?
Yeah.
They never
So-
made a feature-length animated movie before. Who knows what the computers could have done?
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
this is the first
Oh, God.
fully CG movie.
They needed another 4 years to make more than one.
So I
facial
think
model.
the only reason Andy doesn't have a dad is just because of tech. Do you even see the face of Andy's mom?
You
little bit.
You briefly see
A
her
little
at the
bit, yeah.
very end.
Okay.
But
You also
Because I'm
see
thinking,
it
do you see
also,
any adult faces in the movie, really?
You also
the
see it
first
a
one?
little bit at the
No.
beginning too, but it's like at a distance.
Really, the only humans whose faces you see like significantly at all are Andy, Sid, I guess the baby sister of Andy,
Yeah,
and also
Molly.
Sid's sister.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
Yeah.
by the way, hold on, I noticed this on the viewing. Did you guys notice that when Andy's family is moving, they just put Molly in the front seat, no car seat?
built
That's
that.
Yeah.
a fucking baby. What the
That's a
fuck?
straight up baby.
That was
Must have been
straight
a
up
90s
illegal
thing.
in the 90s, I'm pretty sure. No, I am pretty sure that was illegal in the 90s.
I will.
Probably, yeah.
I will say, things were different then than they are now as far as like car seats go. But yeah, you couldn't just be sticking a baby in shotgun.
At the very least, you need to stick the kid in the back seat, I think. I think at the bare minimum, you had to have done that by then.
Yeah.
But Andy gets a back seat, except it's a middle seat. I don't.
Where are all the
What the
toys
fuck
gonna
is
go?
that car? The car has a weird design.
Yeah. Anyway, one thing that I want to bring up. Can we all admit that we're at least a little bit thankful because Randy Newman wrote and sung 2 of the songs in the Toy Story trilogy? Can we all admit that we're thankful that he
He
didn't
sung
sing...
way more than 2.
Well, okay,
Sung-
you get the picture. You get the
Also
picture.
wrote way more than 2. He does the score for all
I
these
know,
movies.
Tanner. Let me get to my points.
Give him some credit.
Fuck you. Anyway, can we all admit that we're thankful that he didn't sing the one that got nominated for an Oscar in 2?
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you imagine that? If somebody loved me.
Okay.
Somebody loved me.
Hang on. I got a thing.
Everything was beautiful.
He got a thing. Let him cook.
I got a thing. So, y'all know those fucking ASPCA and the Arms of the Angel commercials. I saw one with When She Loved Me, and I only saw it once because I think it got pulled because it's too fucking sad to put on TV. Like
The Jesse scene in 2 is, I think the end of 3 is more emotional to me. But if you said the Jesse Somebody Loved Me scene is the most tear jerking shit in these movies, I'd understand.
Putting that song
that made me cry for some reason.
Putting that song under sad animals in shelters, I was just like, you can't do that. You can't put this on TV.
You can't do that. That's too fucked up.
I think when we talk about the development of this movie and what Pixar was, there is a very important figure that we haven't brought up at all, mostly because he wasn't a creative. John Lasseter was the creative head of Pixar, but you guys know who founded Pixar as a company, right?
Steve Jobs, right?
Steve Jobs did.
What?
This was in the period when he was fired from Apple in the 80s, before he came back to Apple in the late 90s. He started two companies. He started Next Computers and he started Pixar Animation. Because he believed that CG animation was the future. And by God, say what you will about that idiotic man who thought he could cure pancreatic cancer by eating enough fruit. But fuck, he was certainly on to something with the CG animation thing.
Yeah, Jesus.
He personally invested a lot of his own money into Pixar. He basically personally funded all of the short films that were made before this, including the Tin Soldier one, which won an Oscar. Fun fact, the animated short category predates animated feature by like 20 years.
Oh, wow.
I think because for the long time, animated feature, new American animated feature in town, it's made by Disney.
Yeah. Well, and also, it was like, wasn't it Beauty and the Beast got nominated for Best Picture, and they were like afraid it was gonna win, and they were like, "No, we can't have this."
That was part of it. That was kind of a part of it, but it is worth keeping in mind that animated feature comes almost 10 years after Beauty and the Beast, so it wasn't that correlated. But I do think that is potentially true. I also think that might be an urban legend. I don't know. The Best Picture category is voted on by the entire Academy. If they were afraid Beauty and the Beast would win, why the fuck did they nominate it? Just enough people went, well, surely nobody else will vote for this.
They all have the same mindset. I'm gonna do this to be funny. 90 people.
I suspect that's how Trump got elected.
Yeah, I was about
surely
to
no one else will do this.
I was about to say, yeah. We thought it was
a joke that went too far.
Yeah.
For real.
Exactly on that note.
Yeah, I think we're wrapping it up. We're about to hit a 90-minute mark. So let's move on to final thoughts. Cody, final thoughts on the Toy Story trilogy.
My final thoughts are life stopped being magical when all the arcades stopped looking like Pizza Planet.
Mm-hmm.
Pizza Planet's the coolest.
True.
Pizza Planet's the coolest fucking thing to ever exist, and so are the arcades.
That's
Anyways,
true.
Toy Story trilogy was great then, still great now.
It's funny you bring up Pizza Planet. That reminds me, you guys hear that like Chuck E. Cheese doesn't suck now?
Okay.
Really?
It sucks.
I loved it when I was a kid. So.
Apparently they've improved the quality of the food, and now apparently the way it works is that you pay for like a multi-hour block to play the arcade games.
Oh.
They give you a card, and the card collects the tickets, but like you can play as many games as you want in that time frame. Apparently that's how it works at Chuck E. Cheese now, which I think is a great improvement, because I think a big problem with Chuck E. Cheese, at least previous model, is that it encourages gambling in children.
Yeah,
So
for
it's like
sure.
the Galloping Ghost arcade. Got it.
What are we talking about? Toy Story. Tim, final thoughts on the Toy Story trilogy.
Yeah, the first 3 Toy Story movies are all excellent. A very important trilogy to me as an adolescent and as a teenager going into adulthood. I think 4 is okay. I think it's a okay, fine, whatever movie. Lightyear was not a fan, but
I forgot about that.
No.
I love these movies. I have a lot of affection for them. They're deeply important to the landscape of animation, and I'm glad that we have them, and I'm glad we got to talk about them today. Back to you, Tyler.
All good stuff. Orion, final thoughts on the Toy Story trilogy. Thank you, Orion. Moving on to... No, I'm kidding.
No. 2 thumbs up for me. I am happy that I still enjoyed these movies pretty much as much as I did the first time I watched them. And I hope that kids keep watching these movies because they're really good and have really important messages that clearly, as we've learned today, have like really like important impacts on people and like kids as they're getting older. And teaches the very important lesson of letting go, and it's okay to let go and move on to different things as you get older, because that's life, baby. Yeah, good movies. 2 thumbs up. Yeah.
Joe, final thoughts on the Toy Story trilogy.
You know what? I'll even say this about 3. All movies, good movies. Movies good. Movies really good. Sure, I may have my issues with 3, but I can still acknowledge that there's a lot of good in it. But if for whatever reason you don't like these movies, I do have one question for you. How does it feel to be a fan of the Cars trilogy, aka how does it feel to suck? Back to you, Tanner.
2 of the Cars movies are good. 1 and 3. Also, I want to share for the record that Joe Reddick gave Toy Story 4 the same rating as Toy Story 3. Let the record show.
I
the
did.
record show.
Hey,
What was the rating?
3 stars.
Yesterday he was saying Toy Story 4 is an abomination against mankind, and today he watched it and he went, "Oh, that's okay."
I still have similar issues with Toy Story 4, but I've softened on it a little bit.
Sometimes you just need fresh eyes.
Yeah. My final thoughts on the Toy Story trilogy. I think it's a brilliant trilogy of films. I think every movie is a 5-star banger. I love these movies so much, and I'm actually going to get into it. I also love Toy Story 4. This is the most blasphemous thing I'm about to say. I like 4 more than 2.
Incorrect.
But,
that is the most... Yeah, okay.
Excuse me?
I'm issuing a mutiny.
We
I
might
am
go
taking over
overtime.
Bomb Squad.
Can
And
someone ban this guy?
you know what? For fuck's sake, I was really doubtful that I'd like Toy Story 4, and I wound up loving it. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to be there opening weekend for Toy Story 5. If for whatever reason, I'm really curious to see how they're going to pull Woody out of the thing they wrote him in 2 and 4. I'm really
They're gonna
curious
say-
how they're going to yank him out of that.
They're gonna say fuck it and then just do it anyway.
They go back to the carnival, and he's like, I changed my mind! Take me back!
Oh my god, have you seen these assholes? Bo Peep is like a dominatrix. All right, that's it for the Toy Story trilogy. Thank you so much for watching / listening to this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. If you are listening on any of the audio platforms we're on, thank you so much for listening. How about you mosey on down below and leave us a review? It helps boost us in the algorithm or something. I don't know. I just work here. And if you are listening, how about you mosey on down over to our Patreon, where the $5 tier gets you access to commentary tracks. We just recorded one for the 2025 movie War of the Worlds, starring Ice Cube, the best movie of the year. And the $10 tier gets you access to a little shout out at the end of the episode. So my mom, Tiny Craft, thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you want to give us money in a different way, how about you mosey on down over to bombsquadproductions.shop. That's right, they got pants now. We don't sell pants, but we sell t-shirts. Cody's wearing one. We sell hats, we sell stickers, we sell magnets, we even sell posters for some of the movies. You can see one for my narcissistic ass having processing up on my wall.
Maybe we'll sell toys.
No. Anyway,
Too expensive.
and if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. How about you comment below and let me know, what do you think of the Toy Story trilogy? Do you think Toy Story 1 is the best? Toy Story 2 is the best? Toy Story 3 is the best? What's your favorite Toy Story character? Did you like Toy Story 4? And finally, is 9/11 funny? Comment below and let me know. And while you're down there, hit the like button so we know how much you like us.
It
Hit the
is.
subscribe button so we know how much you love us. Hit the bell icon to know exactly when we upload new videos. Thank you so much for watching. Orion, plug.
You can follow me on Instagram. It's just my first and last name.
And what is your last name?
Agnew, like the former vice president that like
the one that
committed.
that did bribes?
Yeah, he did like bribes and like
Are you
tax
related
fraud,
to
I
him?
think. No. Okay, because I did research and his parents
I had to
are
make sure.
from his parents are from Greece and immigrated to America and changed their last name when they got there. And I don't have any Greek relatives. So
What if
we're
they're
good.
hiding it from you because they're ashamed of being related to Spiro Agnew?
Honestly, they very well could be, but to my knowledge, and also I don't think we look very much alike. So I think we're both white, and that's about it.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, that's it for this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. Tune in this Friday for the next episode of Bomb Squad Movie Night, which, Tim, how about you tell us what that is?
That's right. We are going to have a lovely day. We are discussing Mad Max Fury Road. Ride into Valhalla with us.
That's right. And then after that, the next episode of Matinee will be an Austin-hosted episode on The Social Network. Cody, I know, is really excited for that one. He signed up for it. I see his name on there right now. He's gonna put my name on the
list again.
I see it there right now. Bitch. Cody's really excited. We'll see you then. It should be a lot of fun. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
There's a snake in my boot.
You have saved our lives. We are eternally grateful.
I slid my ticket across the table and I said, sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl.